Ladies and gentlemen, for match number 9, please welcome to the pitch the participating teams, the national team of Namibia and Eswatini.
Stadium once again becomes the stage of dreams and redemption as Namibia and Eswatini lock horns in a battle to keep their COSAFA journey alive. These two nations, the opening round was a stumble, but here lies a chance to rise, to steady their course on the road to Ivory Coast. Today it's about rewriting the script, about showing that even after a fall, the climb is still possible. So as the two teams emerge from the tunnel, the anthem fills the air, a unifying call of Africa's and the continental's footballing spirit. Let's go down to the national anthem of Namibia.
And now for the national anthem of Eswatini.
So, Namibia and Eswatini side by side, yet their journeys could not feel more distinct. From the kingdom in the sky to the sands of the Namibian desert, these teams carry the weight of their homelands, each a testament to the pride and ambition. So here's how it looks then for the Namibians. One late change then made by their head coach Gerald Gutta. Alex Gunter was set to start. He's been replaced now by jersey number 2, Marashio Given Smith. But for them, largely then they've stuck with the same lineup. Mbonelo Malgas was very good in their game. Nicholas Deckenbrock enjoyed lots and lots of feel of the ball. We'll have to see how that midfield will work. They had lots of work to do against Namibia. Eswatini, they've made 2 changes, as Sindiso Ukama coming into this one, and he's brought in Menzi Dlamini on the flank, and so as you go, it's Mazwate Vilakati starting up front. But other than that, it's a back 3, 4 in the midfield, 3 up front, showing a clear intention to not respect their African neighbors here today. So for Eswatini, this is a chance to rise above the clouds of doubt, to show that their footballing heights are as limitless as their landscape. For Namibia, it's a journey from the harsh, unyielding desert to a dream that feels within reach, built on grit and resolve. Referee-wise then, we've got the man from Zambia taking charge of this one, Chola Chansa. He's assisted by Nandipa Menze, Warren Mulenga, and a fourth official from the Seychelles, Norris Aerosol. 3 men, 1 lady in the panel of refs. So with all the national anthems sung and the pride on every face, the atmosphere shifts from ceremonial to a shimmering tension, a sense that this is more than just another match. For Namibia, it's about showing that even the harshest challenges can be met with courage. And for Eswatini, it's about proving that their ambitions can soar higher than their setbacks. Stage is ready, the stakes unmistakable. 2 teams, 1 dream to stay alive in the road to the Ivory Coast. The time for words has passed. Now the game will speak. Eswatini, there they are, 2 changes in the lineup, lost on their opening game to Zimbabwe, 5-1, but it was really in the second period where they started to come to life against the Warriors of Zim. So this will feel for them a little bit more doable, a task that they feel not as unsurmountable as the Zims. Chatting to their head coach, Cindy Sokama, he says that he feels that he's not going to respect their African neighbors. They are almost on the same level in terms of skill set, in terms of experience in the players. So we're going to see a like-for-like battle here. These 2 fighters, I assume, will go blow for blow every single round, not leaving anything in the arena. So Namibia will attack the goal then to the right of your screen, while for Eswatini, they're in blue, they attack to the left. So here we are then, kicking off day 4 of the Under-17 COSAFA Championship. Who will rise and who will fall? As Namibia makes the early dot. So for the Eswatini team up against Zimbabwe, it was largely a mid and low block. They showed lots of respect to their African opposition in that game. But here they say that it's going to be a different narrative. And that they are going to really go weight for weight up against this, this Namibian side. Were really glimpses and moments of promise once it came to the second half. They were able to find themselves on the score sheets where the Eswatini team through Menze Dlamini came off and impacted the game towards the end of it. So this time he's given the green light to start by Cindy Sokama. Malgas enjoyed watching him in that big loss then that Namibia suffered. One of their biggest in the history of the very competition. They lost by 8-0 up against the Zambians. Just a step above the rest were the Copper Bullets. First set piece is going to go to Eswatini. Touch to put it into a dangerous area. Namibia have once lifted this COSAFA title before. Think back at their 2016 campaign. That was a very good display by this Namibian team back in 2016. That tournament hosted in Mauritius. They negotiated a tough pool, invoiced the likes of Zambia, Malawi and South Africa. They did go on to lose 1-0 in the semis to Mozambique, and then also to Angola in the bronze game. So they actually haven't even got a bronze medal even here in the past recent years. Fourth is their best finish. Into the box now. Both these sides yet to feature at a Total Energies Cup of Nations. Of course, that's the purpose of this qualifiers. Two teams, top two will qualify. Those that will play each other in a final will be the Southern Africans representatives in the hats at next year's showpiece in Ivory Coast. Everett Powell tries to keep that one in play. He's able to do so successfully for the Namibians. Namacheni Kavjeni didn't start then in goal. There's two changes rather to this Namibian team. The young man now on the bench today, Solunga. He's had a tough game up against the Zambians. 2 mistakes in goal. I was happy though to see his head coach not take him off and give the youngster some time to play as they work it now through that left, Antones Khoiseb. Bit of heavy touch that. Able to keep it within his grasp. After Namibia won that COSAFA championship in 2016, they then did not come back in 2017 to defend their title. There's lots of intricacies that go into fielding a team here at COSAFA. In many nations, they go through some spells and periods of time where they just don't come. Financial implications with the football associations, and planning is one of the most important things, especially in the youth development game. So you don't plan for the next 2-3 years, you won't participate in the next tournament. So they didn't come back in 2017. One of two sides to have won COSAFA title. The other is Zimbabwe, also in this group. They'll play against the Zambians in the 3 o'clock kickoff. Knock that. Up over the top then, and it's going to land comfortably for the goalie. So the other games taking place in the other pool, we've got Group C games also with Botswana playing against Mauritius, and then the headline act there will be the South Africans playing at 3. They'll play against the Comoros. But there's some exciting times in Namibian development football at the moment. Recently, the Colin Benjamin Academy, in conjunction with Hop Hydro, have announced the Hop Hydro Cup to take place next year in January, and that's going to invoice some good teams from all across the world. We've got German team FC Nuremberg, Mamelodi Sundowns are going to be participating in that tournament. So they're really trying to plan it a little bit sooner, the development space. It's an exciting time, but Khoiseb now comes through on that right side. Good tackle to prevent that. Said it when we introduced the game that this is going to be one where the teams really go blow for blow to one another. Really challenge each other for the honors. How it works, of course, typical COSAFA style. It's not going to be head-to-head. It's not going to be goal difference that's going to count, but rather the head-to-head of the teams. So perhaps that will make the two teams playing here today feel slightly a bit better because they were on the end of some nasty scorelines as the ball is threaded through here well for the man that wasn't set to start. First touch for him. Makeshift clearance is going to need to be cleared away. Dlamini happy to do so. Then Deckenbrock. It's going to feel tight. It's going to feel cagey for large parts of the game. Until it opens up. Not 7 minutes of football have been played here. Guam, the captain. Now Nicholas Deckenbrock. He was good in the midfield against Zambia. Now, one interesting point then about this Namibian team is that every single player playing on the park at the moment, even the Eswatini guys, it's almost new players that haven't played before for a national setup, any international game. So when I chatted to the coaches before, they made it clear that they let their teams know that this is the nature of international football and you need to comprehend it. So I think some valuable lessons were taken by the sides after day one for them. Foul on the Eswatini man. Captain today has been given to Aviwe Dlamini. Geez, he was good in the game up against Zimbabwe. He was really the threat in the opposition side. Eventually taken off with somewhat of a knock about 80 minutes in. Taking it on that outside. This is a good burst of pace now. Pixie's head up, sees Brayton Pulse go into the box, and the Namibians are going to win a corner for their efforts. Eight players headed up to the box. It's going to be taken by Antones. Hanging delivery that to the back stick. It remains Namibian ball. Delivery to the box. Pulse gets it. It's going to fall for Everett Ball. Although I think the ball inadvertently hits the face of the young centre half. Can be really painful, those. You see it there. It's more really directed on his face there as opposed to his hand. Sure, he'll be good. That's one thing then that your younger development coaches will always try to emphasize to young players. You think under 11, under 12, under 13, when kids start playing football, and it's a matter of you've got to be tough, have a tough skin, because there's many knocks like this that the guys will suffer. Painful ones, but you've got to work and move with them. On the pitch adjacent to us that you saw there, we've got Malawi taking on Madagascar in the Under-17 Girls Championship. Stretcher being brought on for Bell here. And so the head coach is going to take an opportunity to get some words through to his troops, Gerald Kutter. May look like they're going to need to change him early on here. Jersey 6, Ngwambiero Chantindi of Vinduk Gymnasium. preparing to potentially replace Everett Bell. Stretch it off. And see he's putting on his shin pads. Geez, that's rather unfortunate then. A dozen minutes in. 12 to be exact, and the kid may not be able to carry on. For now, the Namibians play with 10. Outrageous scenes yesterday in Group A when Malawi played up against Angola. They had a similar injury to Msongole. And while he was out, the Angolans scored while they had 10 men. So you're going to try and make that substitution quickly, will this Namibian team. Geez, what a feel for Everett Bell. Really enjoyed his look, although they lost 8-0. He's one of the players that really stood out. That's a clean set of heels. Clean footwork by Joshua Muller. Opens up his body and sees the run being made on that far side by Cristiano Yuseb. Govu in goal for Eswatini. Interestingly then, for Eswatini, they don't have as big of an academy structure as many of the other southern African countries, and certainly up north. So many of the Eswatini players chosen from school tournaments, I'm told. So there's provincial school championships and then national school championships, and then the various selectors will go and watch the various schools play. Some people in development football seem to think that that's the way to go. The qualities that academies bring to the fore is unthinkable. Need not look further than the Zimbabweans Sharia group. They've got about 18 academies in Zim. South Africa have a handful too. So do Zambia. In fact, Zambia has a fully fledged elite development league that just has pro team academies. As they work it on this right now, do Eswatini. I think they're going to finally make the personnel change now. So, Ngambwiriro Chantindi of Windhoek Gymnasium comes on in replacement of Everett Bell. Force change this for the Namibians, and he slots right into that back line. But when it comes to development football, there's never omissions, only really opportunities, because you take one youngster off and there's really 1,000 more back home that are waiting and looking for their chance. So let's see what Ngamburiro has to offer. For now, it's Cristiano Yuseb. Very agile, very good. Can't get the cross and he'll win another corner for his side. I've had a couple, about 3 now, I've counted off the top of my head. Khweseb. Happy to receive again and open up his body. It's destined towards the near post. There's some willing takers for Namibia. Joshua Muller is going to fight this one out. Dlamini defends. Muller wins it back to Namibian shirts. Pulse. Can't quite pull the trigger, and then Dickenbrock collides with his own player. Kayaletu Maseko may just win this back. No, he won't. Audacious attempt. Lots and lots of yards out there. It's not going to beat the young Ndlovu. His distribution is not bad. It's quite good, to be frank. On the bye. Onto the edge of that box now, Eswatini lunges in to make the tackle. Does Banele Mazia. Foul Eswatini. For Eswatini then, they've got a 4th place finish. In 2021, they didn't enter in 2022. They say there were some financial issues with the association and the like. It's tough to come year in, year out to a tournament such as this. It's a good interception by Tsela. But one thing then that always bodes well for countries in the Southern African region is preparation. The earlier the preparation, the better. So nations like Zambia that have 3 titles, South Africa that also have 3, Angola have 2. They prep way in advance, almost at under 15 level. You're already looking at the kids that are going to go on and play and hopefully make an appearance at the ultimate stage, which is the World Cup. Foul. It's going to be a set piece. Brayton Pulse goes down. Plays for Swakopmund FC. That was Brayton. "20 minutes of football then have been played here at the UJ Soweto campus. Cristiano Yuseb, left foot, Yuseb, right into the bread basket of Ndlovu. First touch for the replacement out of picture. See it there directly to the goalie. Kavenji. Tekkenbrock wanted in the midfield. Muller was going to get instead. Back to Muller. Up front, Pulse gets the head. Just can't direct his header goalwards. That's Brayton. But there's definitely signs of optimism for Namibia. Chat to coaches from Eswatini, Sindiso Alexio Gama, the holder of a CAF P license. He says that when they played against Zimbabwe, the tactic was a mid to low block. In fact, you could see it. They were really sitting back when they played against Zim. Promised us more exuberance, more free-flowing football today. Definitely the Namibians have kept them at bay. They've come with a plan of their own, and that's to match Eswatini stride for stride, which they've done. Aviwe. Oh, skillfully keeps it in. That's intelligent play. Tekkenbrock. Another exciting feature of the Namibian development game. I saw that earlier this year, rather. There's quite a nice initiative known as the Namibian Newspaper Cup, in which they play against the German national side. So you have youth team versus youth team. This year, some good performances. Of noteworthy mention, the Namibians were able to get a 3-3 draw up against the Germans. And those experiences then definitely puts a team in good course and quite ahead of their opposition. That's where the North Africans go, right? They have lots and lots of those then, where they're playing against European academies, some of the best in the world. In fact, I mentioned that they played against the German academy. The recent winners of the Under-17 World Cup this year were them, Germany, currently sitting as the best Under-17 national side in the globe. As Joshua Muller takes it into his stride, he's being watched by Dlamini. Now Dlamini wins that battle to some applause from the crowd. Back to the box by Muller. Now recycled by the Namibians. They don't mind the patient build-up. Onto the head. It's a tough one. It's a tough touch that's to bring into his stride for Andriano Gawab. Aviwe Dlamini, the captain for today. After his performance against Zim, I'm not surprised he's been given the arm belt, but he's been kept quiet. He's been isolated so far here. Rio Henwood, another one of the changes made by coach Cindy Sokama, overruns it just slightly. So not only do Eswatini do their recruitment in the school space, but also in the promotional league then in Swaziland. And being the 4th division of professional football, which if you think of it, it's quite impressive then that you've got some 15, 16-year-olds playing in the 4th division. Water break on the stroke of 25 minutes. Scorching hot Johannesburg, although the last time we were here at the UJ Soweto Stadium, it was slightly better, the conditions for their day one, overcast conditions, but this is proper Southern African weather. And Coach One sees boys nice and near, nice and close to him. Cindy Sokama on the other side of the coin, holder of a CAF B license. Says that the goal is to grow the love of football in Eswatini. Says there's definitely a love for it. There's talent for it too. And sometimes there can be inarticulated factors that can impact the performance on the field. They played in the semis in 2019. Losing 1-0 to Mozambique. And then to Angola in the bronze game. We didn't play in 2020. We see their ladies team there. They were in action yesterday then against Mozambique. And so we're all good then. And to break out the picture. Nothing yet to report on in terms of the scoreline, still scoreless 0-0. Brock. He's got the size, he's got the build for a central midfielder. Mpumelelo Malgas plays it through to his jersey 8, Kwam. Nice 1-2 play there. Now who wants in the box? Pulse tries to go into an optimal position. It's match 9 this on a packed match card. We're going to have 20 games with a conclusion in 6 days' time on Friday, right here at this pitch, UJ Soweto. Pulse cedes possession to Taylor. Maseko has a hit on that, but nothing comes from it. Interestingly then, what appears to have been done by Sindiso Kama, Kailetu Maseko is playing more as a striker today, as opposed to coming and peeling off that wing. Dlamini has dealt with everything that's come his way today. Well, that clearance, not the best. Nick that by Joshua Muller. On jersey 4, Rio Henwood brought into the starting 11 today. Was Henwood the man of Njabulweni School? I think it's interesting that Eswatini have a proper school-fledged selection system. But I hear that they're looking to intensify their program as of next year. It's going to fall here for Rio. Rio! So what they're planning to do then at Eswatini as of next year to sort of foster the kids well and have them play together early, because what actually occurred with this group is that the coach really only had 1 week to work with the group together. Now that can have its effects when your Zambians and your Angolans and your South Africans have been playing and training regularly. So what they're going to do from next year, they want to have mini camps twice a month where they're going to cluster the boys from their region and their school, and they're going to meet and play almost 3 times a week. So they're calling it so they're going to have twice a camp in a month and then weekly clusters to try and increase the game time. There's this 10,000 hours notion that's well known of, so similar in football. More game time, more experience, the better you become. Someone's in pain at far side. Supporters watching here. There's lots of media personnel that always come to these COSAFA games. It was interesting when they played these sides 2 days ago. Now we had under 15 Kaizer Chiefs development coach Jimmy Jumbo come to watch his Zambians. Yesterday when the Comoros were playing, I also saw Edmondson Dove. So we'll receive some attention. We've already had 1 knock already today. Quite a painful one for Everett Bell. Ball to face. I hope he's not concussed, because perhaps it can have that effect of concussing the kid. I hear they are also making him undergo a concussion test. And this one doesn't look all too pretty either. And Coach Cindy Sokama has sent a whole fleet of players to warm up. 5 to be exact. Set piece then for Eswatini. I hope it's been a decent enough watch. It's two teams that really it's do or die at this stage in the tournament, with one game to come in the group. So it's a must win, having lost 2 days ago now. On Thursday, Kayaletu Maseko with the header. It's going to be cleared by replacement for Namibia. No real shots on target yet. It doesn't look like any real danger yet has come to the either sides. Goalkeepers have had a calm 33 minutes. Brock. Kayaletu Maseko now. As I say that, the goalkeeper, good watching and alertness of the play to come out. Manuel Neuer, like he was waiting for his chance then to play on Thursday. Was Mjeni Kavjeni of Auto Football Academy. Auto Football Academy. He warmed up for a solid 30 minutes after his colleague Solunga made mistakes, but gets his time to shine today. Let's see his footwork. Sends it up the field. It gets ahead of Rio Hammond. Brock wins it back. He does have Joshua Muller to play it with. It's a really nice centre-half pair, centre midfield pairing that's with Brock and Muller. And now Cristiano Yusep is on the inside. Looks optimistic, this attack from Malawi. Brock hangs it up for Pulse. Good skipping that Pulse, maybe. Oh, what a skill to beat his man from Andriano Gawab. The pressure piles on for Eswatini. Cristiano goes for Andriano. Referee spots an offside. Dlamini cuts inside. That's what he does so well, does Dlamini. Brock tries to clean up. Andriano doesn't get a touch. This is Messi Taylor. To Dlamini. Cuts inside, wants something. Referee says play on. And now they'll be counter-attacked by Cristiano, although he's all by himself. Chases it down, Yusef. Oh, nothing's come past the defense of Eswatini. It's really been free-flowing football, which is what you want to see from young players. Playing without fear, which perhaps there was that little bit of that fearful element on Thursday. In fact, that's what the coaches say, that the boys were a little bit scared. Many of these guys playing for the first time in a national setup. Andriano. Dole opens up his body. Looks like it took a nick off the defender's head there. Kayaletu wins it. Does have Dlamini, who scans around to see who else is available. And it's Mazia offside. Doesn't get to Muller. So essentially, it's really an exciting time as a young player to be involved in a club, your country, any sort of development, especially with FIFA as of this year announcing that the FIFA World Cup set to be held annually now in Qatar, the Under-17 World Cup that is. In fact, it wasn't always called the Under-17 FIFA World Cup. 20 years ago when the tournament was started, the idea was for it to be a championship. As they come through here, Namibia go for Pulse. It's worked out all well finally here for the Namibians. Well, they've been the ones asking all the questions. They've been the ones probing and probing. And I say number 9, their striker rather, Brayton Pulse, that gets the first goal for Namibia at this year's championship. Brayton Pulse, the player of Swakopmund FC, 16 years young and bursting with so much talent. He knows where to be. I like the ball from Yuseb. And then the follow-up from the striker is pure striker's instinct. 1-0 in Soweto to the Namibians. Right when you want to score, going into halftime, that breeds confidence in a team. Smith. Dickenbrock looks for Yuseb. And Antones, rather, that's chasing that one down, and Antones will keep it in. Also telling you about that prospects of the World Cup with more teams being announced as of this year, 48. Lunges in for the header. Menzi Dlamini, goal scorer last time. Got almost 71 minutes of action. Did Menzi Dlamini. So when Eswatini really come to the game is in the second half. Certainly that's how it was against Zimbabwe. Some fearful play in the first half, and then the second half you start to become a little bit comfortable and used to the standard of Southern African football and continental football entirely. Mazia. Now Dlamini is playing all the way on that right side. Can't chase that one down though. Chasing it down now are Eswatini and Menzi Dlamini. Good, comfortable play from Smith. Heavy touch from Andriano. They roll over him, 2 players there marking. It's eventually Maseko. Gives away the throw. Not too many stoppages, all but the Everett Bell injury, and I see he still hasn't returned to the bench. I'll let you know in the second half as to what the news is via his injury. It was really a ball to face. That's what occurred. Instead, he didn't come back. Goalkeeper plays for a team called Outdoor Football Academy. As the academy space then in Namibia is booming. It's alive, definitely. Especially when you look at your central region, such as Windhoek. coastal regions also have good academy setups. I think there's about 3-4 players from the coasts of Namibia, most of them based centrally, but really where the gap has lied in terms of getting players from every single part of Namibia is the north and south, where there's not as much football, or the quality at least is not at the level that it should be. As Maseko cuts inside, Maseko wins the free kick. Tell you what, free kicks in this position are always dangerous. Yesterday, when Malawi played against Angola, a youngster by the name of James Lumbe scored one of the most beauties of this year's under-17 qualifiers, of this year's under-17 championship. He was a tad closer, almost on the chalk of the 18-yard. This angle, slightly awkward, especially for a lefty. In Maseko, though, he's got that ability to shoot with both. But his strong right boot is probably going to be the one to take this. It's interesting how no one was there with him to sort of deliberate who'll take the set piece. Usually there's that element in the youngsters' games. But clearly it's known for this Eswatini team that this is the dedicated dead ball specialist. Referee Chola Chansa goes over to get some words through to the box to say, I'm watching. No pushing, no shoving. Okay, now they cede the duties. It looked like it was going to be Maseko. Now, in fact, it's going to be Lwandlile Nzimande, one of the youngest players, 14 years old. Perhaps some mind games. Nzimande steps away again. 2 minutes added on. So it is going to be Maseko, the captain. Hits the wall. Poor free kick. Joshua Muller skips past the man. Muller's on his bike now. Fouled on the other side. So from one dead ball to another. And the first yellow card of the game is going to be shown to Nzimande. He's the only player for the Eswatini team to have played in some or other continental competition. He recently was at Namibia playing in the under-15 CAF Schools Championship. Lwandlile Nzimande going to be one of the more important players here for this Eswatini team. He's on a card though now, and that can also be a difficult element to negotiate, especially for a kid that likes to be involved in the midst of the play and in the contact. So the first red card yesterday of the tournament go to James Msongole. So this time there's a couple of set piece takers there. 5. Deckenbrock, Muller, and Riano. Not too much of a rush. They know they've got the lead. And just getting some words through. 3-man wall for Eswatini. Rather 4 come emerging there from the wall, and the wall does its job. Mzwandile's Nzimande rather left as a casualty. Two minutes up, I assume perhaps 30 seconds extra. Eswatini took some time taking their set piece. So did the Namibians. So that's that then in terms of the story of the first half. A half where it's very evenly contested. Possession evenly shared between Namibia and Eswatini. But the most important statistic to emerge from the halftime break is that Namibia have scored their first goal in this year's Under-17 Championship. And Namibia are in the lead, 1-0 against the Kingdom of Gods. Can they get some energy from their ancestry, this Eswatini team? We've got to see. We've still got plenty of football to play here in Soweto. 45 minutes. But after the first 45, it's 1 Namibia, 0 Eswatini. See it there directly to Diano Yuseb. Left foot, Yuseb. Right into the bread box. First touch for the replacement out of picture. See it there directly to Diano Yuseb. Left foot, Yuseb. Right into the bread basket of 20 years ago when the tournament was started. The idea was for it to be a championship as they come through here. Namibia, goal for Pulse. It's worked out all well finally here for the Namibians. Well, they've been the ones asking all started. The idea was for it to be a championship as they come through here. Namibia, goal for Pulse. It's worked out all well finally here for the Namibians. Well, they've been the ones asking all the questions. The ones probing and probing. And I say number 9. And bursting with so much. Knows where to be. I like the ball from you.
We're standing by for the second half.
Welcome back then to the UJ Soweto Stadium. 1-0 to Namibia at the halftime break. Eswatini have responded by making a personnel change. Mnelisi Mbingo to come on in replacement of Vilakati. Mbingo, the youngster that plays for Emma Seleselewe FC. Emma Selesele. And he comes on in the midfield in replacement of Vilakati. Really wasn't in the game, was Vilakati. So Eswatini to kick us off then for this second odyssey. The second half. Scorching hot conditions in Jozi, but just right for CAF African football. So let's see how they respond. Eswatini, they had a better second half on day one, and so they start with intent, playing through Dlamini. Namibia scoring their very first goal of this year's competition through the striker Brayton Pulse. He's definitely got the ability, selected for a reason. We're starting to see glimpses of that talent. I saw him selected for the side. So let's see who wants it more here. Zamini seems to think he was fouled there, but nothing. Playing in the goalie, good on his feet, much more comfortable. Yuseb. Tekenbrock, happy to get again now. It's opening up ever so slightly for Namibia. They've definitely come back with the same intent that they left the first half. Threaded through, Pulse is in behind. He's not going to get the ball there. Tekenbrock wins it back in the mid. Pulse. Andriano. Good save by Ndlovu. So it was in the second half where it all went wrong for Namibia when they played against Zambia. They went into the halftime break trailing by 3-0. The game ended 8-0. 5 goals scored by the Copper Bullets in the second period. So let's see whether they can maintain and keep the focus. The most important times in a game of football. 5 minutes after the restart of the game. Kaya Letu Maseko. Maseko leaves the ball behind. Some follow-up is coming through. And the goalkeeper goes down in a screech and paining in agony. And it's his lower arm or hand that is grabbing there. It really opened up for Eswatini for a moment. Kaeletu Maseko taking it on that counter, puts a shoulder down and then runs. Mcheni Kavjendi goes down. He's kept well though, that must be said. The goalkeeper comes out of his line, needs to come out of his line almost there. It looks like he'll be able to continue. I can report from the halftime, from the injury in the first half, that Everett Ball is now back okay and he's sitting on the bench again, but won't come back on. He's going to have to wait for Monday to play again. And they'll play on Monday, these Namibian boys, against Zimbabwe. You know that in terms of qualification for the semi-finals, it's the 3 winners of the groups that will go through. So will the best second place team. So perhaps these sides will still think of their chances in that regard. Although Group A looks like it's got some real contenders. Angola on 4 points after day 1. Mozambican scored in the very last minute against Lesotho. They're also on 4 now. These sides still searching for their first 3 points. Hamula. No communication in the midfield. Zamini. Rio Hammond. And the greatest of touches at the moment, ping pong like, not the most attractive of football. Cristiano Yuseb. Deckenbrock wants to send Paulson on a run. Oh, Spy 2 there. Gets some applause from the crowd. Shibobo. Close your legs when you defend, son. Maseko slips on the way. Now, a bit of a counter-attack opening up. It's Mola and it's Brayton Pulse. It's Brayton Pulse that's still on the ball here. Has Cristiano Yuseb to assist. Happy to concede the throw-in. Eswatini has suffered some heartbreak in this competition, a couple of losses in important semi-final games. The final has proved a step too far for Eswatini in recent years. This year it seems that perhaps even the semis may evade them. It was a campaign, in fact it was their winning campaign, Namibia, where they also went through as the best team in the group, but it was via the head-to-head rule then. That year I think they occupied a group with Botswana. There was Angola in 2016, the tournament held in Mauritius. And they actually went on to win it, qualifying for the very first time and for their only under 17 Total Energies Cup of Nations. But they had a tough trip here to South Africa from what I've been able to gather. Stuck at the border for 4 hours checking passports and the like. That increased the length of their trip quite substantially, the Namibians. Sometimes those lessons are important for young players to learn. We know the Nigerian team even had a big protest earlier on in the year via some of those conditions traveling in Africa. So the youngsters get a bit of a taste, if you may, a starter of what it's like to play in the toughest of African competitions. Speaking of African competitions, some exciting action coming through on the CAF Champions League front also today. Orlando Pirates playing against Al Ahly. It's a big game here also in Soweto, a couple of kilometers down the road in Orlando. We're at Pimville. But yes, some of those lessons learned already by these young boys. Can't say the same for Eswatini. When I chatted to their coach, Sindiso Alexio Gama, he says, no, we are right around the corner, no problem for us. Traveling wise, the Malawi team were in a bus for 2 days. Also, various stops at borders and the like. It's the nature It's the essentialia of playing in an African competition. In fact, if I'm playing in an African competition and there's none of that, I don't want it. Another spy too. Another one by jersey 5, Andrones Huiseb. Jeez, he's feeling up for the nutmegs. 2 already. Oh, skillful. Jeez, the Namibians have turned it up a notch. They're finally feeling more comfortable, which is what you want. You want youngsters at their happiest, at their most comfortable, most importantly. For Eswatini, their last game will be against the Copper Belts. They've got to feel that this is really where, if they want to get a victory in this year's campaign, it's got to come in this game. It's got to come here. It's got to come now. Menzi Dlamini twists and turns in the mid. Smith continues his run, does Smith. Pile driver. Above the target from Joshua Muller. Spoken about the fact that Eswatini have some plans to have more consistent displays in African competitions and to compete more in African competitions. I mentioned some of the monthly camps that they want to have and the weekly cluster trainings that they are implementing, but also with younger youth tournaments. Those could also serve as a boiling pot as we see a counter-attack here. But the younger youth tournaments could also serve as a boiling pot where the youngsters are cooked before they come to stages such as this. In particular, the under-13 Build-It tournament in Eswatini is really becoming the optimal and prime under-13 tournament. What I like about that, then it shifts the sort of school focus and goes to clubs. Someone's gone down. It's Maseko. The neck on his back of his boot there. So the problem also with largely selecting your players from a school setup is that they don't have the intensity that academy players have, which is what Coach Gerald Kutta of Namibia had said, that yes, the Namibian school system is there. Because like I mentioned, they in fact hosted the under-15 schools championship just earlier this year at Walvis Bay. But even there, so the problem then with schools football is that you don't have proper coaches, proper physio, proper techniques. You see there's a full team here of football, sport professionals. In a school team, you've got your mathematics teacher and teaching you how to trap and pass a ball. Which, I think mathematics teachers are very good at things such as Pythagoras and triangles and circles, but once it comes to football, the football people know how to do football. So that's the sort of balancing act that now I think many African clubs, countries are trying to get that sort of balance out the way. How do we balance the good school amount of players and good academy amount of players? There's then sports schools then in some countries that serve to bridge that gap. Notably in South Africa, there's the SAFA Transnet School of Excellence, which provides the best of both worlds. There's a couple in countries like Zambia, Zimbabwe, and the like. So I think those type of blueprints could be taken. And speak of the School of Excellence, I'll give you a prime example of that. in the last edition of this tournament, Siyabonga Mabena was the player of the tournament. He was still then fresh from the School of Excellence, and he's a player that was playing at that sort of school club system. Yeah, before that, it was a young man. Well, there were a couple of young players that really impressed. I remember Joseph Banda, Tutuzish Chabalala. Ball through for Dlamini! Eswatini get their first goal. Their second of the competition, their first in this game. And this man, boy, he's deserved a goal. Aviwe Dlamini gets the deadliest of touches. It's a slow poison for the skipper. When days are dark and gloomy, you call upon your captain, and oh man, most beautiful of touches. The ball from Maseko is prime. The finish is superb. It's 1-1 and Soweto just before the hour mark. Now the game is set up. Now I can stand and call it standing, because now the game is alive. A goal apiece. Let's see whether the momentum for Eswatini can carry on. I mentioned it though, that Eswatini are a second half team, and that can have its own implications. You don't want to leave it until the second half, because sometimes you leave it until the second half and then it's a bit too late, like we saw in their game against Zimbabwe. First half hat-trick from El Shaido. So Duma. The Zimbabweans are up next in the next kickoff, 3 o'clock. Zambia, Zimbabwe. Yo, top scorers so far in the division, and he's going to give some warnings. Will Zambian Chola Janza to Maseko, so as to say, you do that again and I'm going to book you. He's been lenient, I'd like to think. He's let the game flow. You always want to have a ref that lets the game go. And for now, African referees want themselves to be the talking points and not the football. I'm happy for if Chola Chansa is let the football play. Now, to the far stick, Andriano of Namibia with Aviwe Dlamini. Shoulder to shoulder battle that was. Calls to shoot, ball threaded through for Yuseb, inviting, but it's cleared away by an Eswatini defender. Our Aviwe Dlamini is going to have a clearance of himself. So unfortunately for the teams that don't make it out of the group, it's done and dusted. They'll be headed home by Tuesday, which is a day off. Semi-finals are on Wednesday, another day off, and then finals on Friday. So for the guys that don't make it through, the road ends on Monday. Menzi Dlamini goes into the book as the second player carded after Luanzile Mzimande. 2 players going to the book from Eswatini. Goes all the way. Corner for Namibia. Muller to the back post. Put back into a dangerous area. Smith! Audacious to have it from there. He doesn't mind. He's got the confidence. Yeah, the boys are booming and growing in confidence, which is another aspect then that's important in development football. Sometimes teams improve even in the game, which as a coach that's coaching young players, it's something that you give them their flowers for that. You've gotten better. Well done. Do it again. These are kids at the end of the day. And at the end, just like they do at school, there's lots of lessons that can be taken here. Whether they win or lose, these are footballers that are going to be holding the torch high for African football as a whole. I mean, this tournament dates back 30 years. There's been lots of players who play in a tournament like this and then go through and be real standout players for their nations and their clubs. I remember back in 2001, I'll take you way back to 23 years ago, Robert Ngambi played for Zambia's team. Oh, good. He was so good in Ngambi. We know how much of a successful career he went on to have in South African football. Collins Mbesuma played at COSAFA u17. It's a long, long list of alumni. Now, Yuseb keeps it alive. Cristiano Yuseb, not foul on the box. Joshua Muller. Oh! He's leaning back. His body language is not allowing. His body language not languaging. Brock. I hope the watch has suddenly lightened up. It definitely feels like a game with a higher tempo. First half was a little cagey, tactical, chess game-like. Taken out a pawn, a bishop maybe. But now it's all guns blazing. They've taken out their castles, their kings. And all those other brilliant chess pieces. One back, Kayaletu Maseko's going to chase this one all the way through. And though his touch doesn't get it. The tournament had long hiatus from the years 2001 to 2007. Not any AFCONs, COSAFA qualifiers played in that time. It was back, and it's been back with a bang ever since. COVID was a bit of a tough year, 2020. That tournament hosted on South African shores. Offside is Maseko. Another foul, lots of them now. That time it's between the jersey 2 from Eswatini, Okwake Ngube. He's been quiet today, Ngube. Thursday he was very lively and involved. I think all about that, he's been not as immersed in the play. I'm going to receive some attention here, and another card's going to come out. Joshua Muller, I think this time, is going to be the recipient. He's holding the ball, he's pleading his case. There's definitely a bit of remorse, but it's not going to mitigate the yellow card that the referee is going to give now. I think he's gone into the book already. Receives some attention, the man Okwake Ngube of Mbabane City FC. Lots of talent that have played and done well at this competition. Also another yellow card for Ngube. Double yellows, 4 players in the book. Back to the play, and that's a dangerous ball. Pulse! Doesn't pull the trigger in time. In fact, they don't allow him to. This is Muller. He's going to have it on the volley. Skies the air, sky ball. The counter-attack looked dangerous. First bit of look of the replacements after 15 minutes on now. Just over. And another man's gone down. Lots of these injuries. So, mentioned in some of the earlier games that we had, but the guys at under 17 level didn't always play 90 minutes. Certainly in the land of South Africa, it wasn't like that until about 3 years ago. The time that the under 17s would play would be similar to under 15s. If you follow and know under 15 football, they play 35 minutes a half, so 70 minutes. They'd be done now. So most of these guys, lots of them are used to that 15 minutes, especially if you think of Lwanzile Mzimande. He's been playing under 15 football almost the entire year. But it was important to be on track with the FIFA standards and the broader CAF standards. And so the time changed for many of the COSAFA countries. Change for Stephen Kamulu to come on in replacement of Brayton Pulse, for Namibia rather. Stephen Kamulu to replace Brayton. Kamulu plays for a team called Young 11 FC. He makes his way on and will get 20 or so minutes of game time. In the meanwhile, Menzi Dlamini's gone out. He was the goal scorer for Eswatini. Played 71 minutes, did Menzi, against Zimbabwe. Inviting ball over the top. Goalkeeper's out. Oof, Smith has skipped past a couple there. Oh, first touch of the game could be a goal. Arch referee said they're foul by the attacker. The goalkeeper has now gone down. Ndlovu. Yep. Some foul there on the goalie. Wonder why the cards have stayed in the books, in the pockets rather. Goalkeeper Ndlovu plays in one of the school setups then chosen from those from that type of system. So water break then here. Well, those look like juicy watermelons. Those always go nicely down in December. It's that season anyway. The Namibians, they brought some fruits from Namibia. And that's the crowd. The young and the restless, the youth full exuberance. Watching on. The Zambians usually have a good cohort of supporters. I'm sure they'll also be here with their cheerleaders. Tight and cagey game, but this result won't do it for these sides. If certainly they have ambitions of a second best team qualification, or even if you want to dream bigger and larger, winning the group. This result won't do it, and Coach Kama sent some words through. Glad to see that Kacheni Ndlovu's back up. I'm still telling you about the new FIFA format in the first half. It's so exciting. because previously it was sort of a 36-team tournament and then round of 16, 32-team tournaments, round of 16 quarters and the like. But now it's going to be 48 teams in the next World Cup in Qatar next year. And what that means now is that there can be more teams from Africa, 8 teams. We're taking teams from 6 confederations, 8 are going to be going from Africa. How it would work at the Cup of Nations previously is that only the top 4 would qualify, but this time we have 8 places up there. So for, I'm sure, every single footballing confederation, Southern, Northern, Western Africa, they will know that it's time now to put their players on the mark. Yuseb. It fizzles out now. Joshua Muller plays one more to Adriano. Could be here. Adriano. Still in the box. Yuseb. They've clipped it up for him. He recovers it well. Deckenbrock is there. Happy to win the corner instead. Oh, that looked like they took some contact. Referee convinced it's a goal kick. It's a lovely sound of the ladies' teams cheering and singing here. Makes for quite the atmosphere. It's COSAFA. It's African football. It's the African flavor. First of these COSAFA u17 championships was held right here in South Africa, so perhaps it's a little bit fitting that 30 years on, the 30-year anniversary comes back to where it all began. That 1994 tournament won by the hosts. The next one would only wait until 2001 for the next of them. Almost 7 years later, it would go to Malawi, the city of Blantyre and Lilongwe. It was held in Namibia for the first time in 2007. And Zimbabwe claimed their first one. They shared a group that year in 2007, did the Zims with Angola and Eswatini, and ultimately played a 1-1 draw with the hosts before qualifying. Again, from 2007 to 2016, there'd be a 9-year wait for the next of the finals to be played. 3 changes, triple change. Jersey 7 came on as a sub in the first game on Thursday. Vidario Brunzel. Geez, he was good, Brunzel, in the game that he came on. He got 44 minutes of game time. Jersey 10. Shumbi also came on as a sub against Zambia. Played 45 minutes. This time you'll get perhaps just over 12. Shumbi. And then one more change. Joandre Motinga was a late change. Then the last one brought on by coach Gerald Guther. Motinga from Kaizen FC. '16-year-old. Of course, all these boys won't be eligible next year, the 16-year-olds. I like how COSAFA have done it, because you can only play if you've been born on the 1st of January in 2008. So you've got to be 16, not even 17. So it's literally under 17. You know, in some of the development leagues across the continent, you can play under 17 even though you are still 17. So COSAFA has made it a tad bit younger. which forces their federations to also get younger players. We have a couple of 14-year-olds in the tournament, which is very impressive. No 13-year-old though. That would be outrageous, I think, to have a kid of 13 years old playing here at Breakham. There's that element though of putting a young player in too soon. You don't want to deliver an undercooked product yet. Same time, you don't want to overcook it, so need it just right. Hope you've enjoyed the watch wherever in the world you've been watching these games from. I have some viewers from the USA, lots and lots of people interested in Southern Africa's football. Smith with the drive, forcing the save from Ndlovu. The replacement has been lively since coming on. Now they've gotten through. Oh, what a save by Ndlovu! What a save! What a save! He should have buried that. Shumbi. He's been saved, but they come again through Brunzel. Brunzel. Oh, goodness. What a move. Oh, me. They don't want to score, these boys. Oh, me. They don't want to score. What more? What more do Namibia need to do to find the back of the net? Two big chances in the space of 45 seconds. We still got 10 minutes to go. We are in for quite a show. Don't go anywhere. Don't adjust your television sets. This is happening in reality. Ball for Rio. Looks like he's cramping. Menzi Dlamini, Kayaletu Maseko, brilliant ball, but it's offside. It's offside. That's ball for Ronald Kanjo. No, rather for jersey 12. Nelly Simbingo came on right. The stroke of half time. He's at 45 minutes or so to razzle and dazzle. Look at that. A little cheeky. Oof. Maybe he's just on, maybe he's just off. Referee's discretion. Off Vulavala. Show me your number. And we saw that number, jersey 17. Well, the game has come to life. The guys know that now you play, now you live, now you relish the moment. I said both sides will be in action once again on Monday for what could be their last games at this year's Under-17 Championships. Smith wants a handball, won't get it. Malgas. Mpumelelo Malgas. Oh, this kid is good. Jeez, that kid's silky. Joandre Mutinga. Joandre Mutinga. Ha. They've brought on all their Shigishing players right towards the end. All their sugary players have come on towards the end. What a turn now. His handball. Was it a foul? Could have been both. Either way, good call to make it a Eswatini ball. Stayed down after that contact. Now we've had lots of stoppages. I think we're going to have plenty of additional time here towards the end. I foresee that we're not near the conclusion, at least just yet. And that's what Coach Kama thinks, because he's going to make one more personnel change. Lihle Shongwe played for 44 minutes. On Thursday, the man of Makumbeleni Celtics will get a run in the legs. Haven't played each other all too many times, these sides. Oh, and that's where the beautiful music is coming from. The Eswatini ladies played against Mozambique. I think they've lost one game so far. They've got also one more to go, but wow. They should go sing in a choir. That's how nice it sounds here. I don't want to commentate, I just want to listen to their sounds. So, who wants it more? That's all it's going to come down to, really. Who can dig in deeper? The depths of the Namibian deserts, or will it be the kingdom of gods, Eswatini, that come up away with the much wanted one? Oof, that was silky. Oh, the almost penalty given there. They wanted it. I think the contact was enough. The Namibian ladies will also be in action. Oh, you watch that over and you see the slow-mo and there's contact in the box there. Some fans at home saying Namibia, it's a must-win. With all respect to Eswatini, Kayaletu Maseko, vase, and then into the box. Here comes the counter. Here comes the exciting youngster. Surely, overrun it. Yeah, the goalkeeper definitely deserves these flowers. There was Nashe watching the game, says goalkeeper deserves these flowers. Geez, he does. He's out again there. Yeah, no. Kacheni. It's that Kacheni. Comes all the way from KZN. Kachenis don't just play. So I mentioned that that's the Namibian ladies team will be in action at 2 o'clock on COSAFA TV. Can catch those games on one of the other fields. I've also liked the flag bearers and whatnot, because all those flag bearers have come from local teams, local Soweto teams. There was a team yesterday called Dibaba watching the games. Yeah, he's had a shift. He's worked overtime. Glovu. Yo, I wonder how much time they're going to add. I'm predicting quite a few. Nothing less than 5 at least. Because for the Namibians, like many of the supporters back home are saying, it's a must-win. For both of these teams, it's a must-win if they want to keep their Ivory Coast and inevitably their World Cup dream alive. The Baby Warriors, can they dig in deep against the Swati Kings, the team of royalty? So I think we're good after lengthy periods of stoppages. I think I understand now why they wanted Joan Remutenga to be put on. This kid's also good in that jersey 11. Now it's opening up here for Namibia! Goal! Maybe that wins it. It's offside, it's not gonna count. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no, drama here even towards the end. Smith is saying, let's go again. If you can do it once, we may as well do it twice. The twice time hasn't counted. They'll need to do it again. There's something that an infamous coach from South Africa said about football and death. Football will kill you a real death. Motenga once. Yes, so I was correct. The signal coming through from the floor is 5 minutes are going to be added. Ball through. Too much. Now the Namibians want it. The baby warriors. Against the Swazi Kings. Jesus, yo. If I had a pick for player of the match, certainly based on the second half, he'd be high up there. Oh, Smith, you beauty. How was he off then? There wasn't a touch there. Jeez, I'd like to see that slow-mo again, but there wasn't a touch from the number 9. That shouldn't be offside. That goal, certainly from that perspective, should stand. The Namibians won't want to watch that slow-mo over again. Ndlovu's high. The Namibians don't want to see that slow-mo again. Because for me, Smith has scored. There's no touch from the Stephen Kamulu. Dlamini. Maseko offside again. How many offsides? How many offsides? That time it's Nandi Bamenze says pull on Muntinga's jersey. Yes, we've had to wait some time for the game to move from trench warfare to full-blown fight. There's Rielis in the building watching some of the games. She'll be in action. Well, she won't be in action. She'll be watching the ladies' games up next. She'll be headed, in fact, to Jamaica now. Nkosentle Tela. His middle name is Messi. That's what I found interesting, Tela. They didn't put it there, but it's Nkosentle Messi Tela. His parents clearly wanted him to do one thing and one thing only, and that's ball. Mola. Mutinga. Now they're through. Oh, that was going to go down again. The Namibian bench are frustrated. They don't want him to go down a bin. Yellow card for Stephen Kamulu. Urgency turning to a bit of desperation for the baby warriors. He's gone down again, the goalkeeper. I'm glad I'm not Namibian or from Swaziland. My heart wouldn't be able to cope with just the amount of stress, the pressure. And the kids are relishing it. These are the type of games then that development football advocates for, because this is when a youngster is able to get full value and really grow. Whoever wins or loses this game, both teams will come away with lessons that will put them in great stead in their future football forever. But they want to win it on the day. Menzi Dlamini keeps it somewhat alive, although not for long. Yeah, the legs are starting to hurt now. It's starting to pain. They want to get into an ice bath immediately as they leave here. But the business is not done. There's still a job to be finished. Montinga. Oh, me. He's gotten through. Yeah, Kamulu. That one counts. That one's going to stand. And Namibia. Well, that's going to be felt all the way in Walvis Bay. Stephen Kamulu probably with the winner here for Namibia. Oh me, That's why we love the beautiful game. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. It falls for him just favorably. You've got to give it to the youngster. In jersey 11, Joandri Motinga. It's all his work. He turns into prime Eden Hazard. That man will be everyone in Namibia now. Kamulu, cometh the hour, cometh the man, cometh the hour, cometh Stephen Kamulu. 2-1. The Mozambicans also yesterday scored right towards injury time when it was all said, done and dusted. Yeah, now so the fight goes on for Namibia. They've played Zambia. They've played Eswatini. They will need to do the business once again on Monday against Zimbabwe. Defended that Kailetu Maseko. On the other side of the pitch, the Namibian ladies were also just celebrating. They're going to kick off against South Africa. You can catch that game also on COSAFA TV on all our platforms. One more moment maybe for Eswatini. One more piece of drama. Oof, silky footwork, that's 5 minutes done on our end. Stephen Kamulu once more. Stephen Kamulu, yeah, he comes. Kamulu. He's not going to get there. Referee checks his watch. It's over. It's done. Namibia won. Yeah, against Eswatini. The journey this may be the end of the road for the kings, for the gods of Swaziland. But for the kings of the deserts, for the baby warriors, the road goes on. The road to Ivory Coast goes on. The dream lives on for the baby warriors. Heartbreak for Eswatini. Jubilation for Namibia. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful COSAFA u17 Championship qualifier. Eswatini ladies have turned the volume down a notch now, and the party is happening in Windhoek and Walvis Bay. Phambili nge-war, phambili with the warfare. But it ends here in this one. 2 Namibia, 1 Eswatini.
a break, but please do join us at 3 p.m. as we have another encounter. It will be Zambia and Zimbabwe going head to head.